television's automotive magazine. Your host for Motor Week, John Davis.
Well, hello and welcome again to Motor Week. We're glad to have you with us. If we had to pick just one car that's sure to cause a stir this year, it would have to be BMW's new Z3 Roadster. It's only just arriving in showrooms, and already the striking two-seater is sold out for all of the '96 model year. What makes such a brand new car a success when so few people have ever driven one?
My name's Bond. James Bond.
Well, the added panache of appearing in the latest James Bond film, GoldenEye, certainly helps. The South Carolina-built Bmw Z3 is the first Bond car ever that was not born in the British Isles. And having the cast of GoldenEye, including star Pierce Brosnan, introduce it gave its launch added punch. But long-term success for any car depends on more than a flashy entrance and a handsome face. Snappy looks don't hurt, however, and styling is something that the Z3 has in abundance, combining elements of previous BMW Roadsters, especially the 507 of the 1950s and the more recent Z1, with a heavy dose of 90s aggressiveness. The Z3 does turn heads. The long, wide power dome nose, complete with BMW twin-kidney grille, manages to be both new and traditional, while the prominent side vents and deep skirts recall competition cars of days gone by. It's only in the rear that the Z3 runs short on character, though we'll acknowledge that the high-mounted stop lamp recessed in the trunk lid is rather clever. Even the 16-inch alloy wheels wearing 50 series Michelin rubber are unique to this model. 17-inch wheels are optional. The Z3's appearance may stand out in the conservative BMW lineup, but it relies on proven German technology for propulsion. The 1.9-liter twin-cam 16-valve 4 is an updated version of a familiar 3 Series power plant. It pumps out a modest 138 horsepower and 133 pound-feet of torque. A 6-cylinder Z3 arrives in the fall. All the power reaches the rear wheels by way of either a slick 5-speed manual gearbox or optional 4-speed automatic. Traction control is also available. We haven't yet had a chance to track test the Z3, but extensive street use makes us believe BMW's claim of a 5-speed 0 to 60 time of 9.1 seconds and 9.7 seconds for the auto. Actually, we've traversed nearly 300 miles of South Carolina's public pavement in the Z3 and found it to be a very entertaining machine. But those who look at its aggressive styling and expect hardcore all-out sports car handling will be disappointed. The Z3 is a very refined ragtop, one that's more Grand Touring than Grand Prix. Not really surprising when one looks at the hardware under that skin. The front suspension is pure 3 Series sedan, while the rear semi-trailing arm setup comes straight out of the previous generation M3. The Z3 thus offers a sophisticated taut ride and more than ample sports car-like grip that can still be manipulated by the throttle when desired. It's a combination that's hard to beat. As is the Z3's straightforward convertible top, the manual mechanism takes only a tug and a snap to operate. And unlike many competitors, this one looks pretty darn good with the top up. But dropping it back down gives folks a better look at the Z3's wide but short cockpit. The bucket seats are close-fitting and supportive. A combination of cloth and vinyl trim is standard. Leather is optional, as is this wood trim around the typically efficient climate and stereo controls. Gauges are large and clear, though the cluster is a little sparse. Safety features are plentiful, however, and they include dual airbags and stout door and A-pillar reinforcements that meet 1997 federal side impact standards. Cockpit storage is plentiful, and the trunk is roomy enough for a relaxing weekend for two. But therapy like this is never free. However, the Z3 carries a quite reasonable base price of $29,320. A full load of options boosts the price to $33,820. Yet, if you haven't already ordered yours, you'll have to wait for 1997 production to begin. But we do think that it will be worth it. The folks at Auto Week agree. After their first drive, they wrote that it sparked such a holiday mood that we were sorry to end a 5-hour, 220-mile day. And after their first drive in South Carolina, Automobile Magazine described the Z3 as the modern version of a horse, lively and attentive, sure-footed and trustworthy, careful and capable of mastering some of the Palmetto State's most treacherous grounds. It looks like it's unanimous. The BMW Z3 is just a neat little car, one that will both shake and stir your most secret driving emotions. Now, as we've just seen, BMW Z3 Roadster is one all-new car that lives up to all its hype. But while the success of the Z3 seems certain, perhaps more important to BMW, the company, is where the Z3 is built. And that's in Spartanburg, South Carolina, at BMW's first manufacturing plant outside of Germany. So we took our Motor Week cameras behind those walls to bring you the story of BMW's southern accent. They say you can't judge a book by its cover, but the outside of the new BMW Z3 factory near Spartanburg, South Carolina, certainly gives strong clues as to what's inside, starting with a horseshoe-shaped BMW Zentrum building. Borrowing a page from southern neighbor Saturn's marketing book, BMW is creating this museum and visitor center to let future Z3 owners get a feel for how their cars came to be. This old-fashioned southern hospitality is a major plot line in the story of the Z3. Step inside the factory doors, and the first question is invariably, why don't I hear anything? While we assume the workers must be on break, it soon became apparent that the production line was literally humming along at nearly full speed, which in this case is a careful crawl. Right now, only about 100 cars are built each day. Conversations can be carried on at normal levels in any part of the building, a first in our experience. All cars are built on a single line. This is the only plant for Z3s, but sprinkled amid the Roadsters are 318i sedans, which are also still built in Germany. The line itself is shaped like a lowercase e. Sub-assembly operations are carried out on the outer ring, with the line looping in on itself for final assembly. All employees from the president on down wear the same uniform, eat in the same cafeteria, and even fight for the same parking spaces in the morning. This atmosphere of worker equality goes hand in hand with the philosophy employed on the production line. Each car bears the handiwork of hundreds of BMW team members. Each manufacturing process, from welding to assembly to final audit, is performed by small teams of 3 to 5 people. Every so often, they will rotate jobs to ward off injury and boredom and to maintain flexibility throughout the line. And flexibility is a must when the next car in line might be a sedan. Floor-mounted cradles can adapt to either body style and can rotate, raise, or lower to accommodate the line workers. One of the biggest demands in any BMW plant is for perfect paint jobs. A painstaking process of cleaning, coating, and priming is followed by an environmentally sensitive water-based paint applied by robots. The finished product is among the best we've seen, period. Painted bodies are sent to a sorting station, which resembles a giant indoor parking garage. As a particular color and style is needed, it is pulled and placed on the line in sequence to meet up with the rest of the car at final assembly. Final inspection signals the end of the line for each Z3. Part alignment and fit and finish are checked. High-pressure water searches for leaks, and each Roadster is buffed and tweaked to perfection before it ever sees the street. All modern cars are screwed, glued, and bolted together in pretty much the same fashion, and the BMW Z3 is no exception. But the folks in Spartanburg, as well as their bosses in Munich, recognize that people build cars and that cooperation is the key to success. It takes but one drive in the new Z3 to realize that BMW Spartanburg team indeed have their grits together.